Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today with a new Jujutsu Kaisen video. I saw the trailer, I reacted to it, and I couldn't say anything in that video because I got too excited. So today that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going over the trailer. I'm going to talk about what we might see in this season. If you want to start reading the manga after finishing season 2, I'm gonna tell you exactly where you should start. And I'm also going to speculate on where the season might end. If you don't want spoilers, don't worry. I am gonna have like timestamps for you to know where to skip. I'm gonna tell you like, hey, I'm about to give spoilers, so please skip to this minute. You know the drill. But before getting started, please don't forget to follow me on my social media. I have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, where I talk a lot about anime in general. I also stream on Twitch every day except for Sundays. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with nothing else to add, let's begin the video. Of course, for the title of the video, we know that the third season, it's going to cover the arc known as the Cooling Games. And it's also going to be divided into 2 parts, which is something that we've seen ever since season 1. So we can assume that this season, it's going to have between 23 and 25 episodes. Now, the thing with Jujutsu Kaisen is that arcs are pretty short. Season 1 had about 4 different arcs, and Season 2 had 2. The second season covered, again, the Hidden Inventory arc and the Shibuya Incident arc, which is about 74 chapters of the manga, 15 of Hidden Inventory, and 59 of Shibuya Incident. And these was translated into 23 episodes for the anime. In the case of the Cooling Games, it's divided into 3 different arcs. Before the arc of the actual Cooling Games, we have 2, which are called Extermination and Perfect Preparations. Now, if we put together Extermination arc, Perfect Preparations, and the actual Cooling Games arc, we get a total of 79 chapters, about 75 if they end where I think they're gonna end, which is pretty much the same amount of chapters that we got for season 2, which again will give us a total of about 23 to 25 episodes. Now, for the people that are interested in reading the manga, you need to start on chapter 138, which belongs to volume 16. Now, they did a little bit of playing around with chapter 137, chapter 138, and chapter 139 for that last episode of the anime of the Shibuya Incident. So in that last episode, we get to see everything of chapter 137. They skipped 1 chapter of the manga and they present us with the first scene of chapter 139, which is the scene where Yuji is clapping and he's attracting all the cursed spirits. I believe the first episode of the third season is going to start with the first panel of chapter 138. The first scene that we get in the trailer belongs to chapter 138. There's another scene in the trailer that it's the beginning of chapter 138, so I do believe that's where we're gonna start. They're also gonna introduce one of the characters that we get to see in the trailer. And if they don't do it like that, we might see the beginning of chapter 138 as a flashback, but I don't think they're gonna do it like that. I do believe we're just gonna start with the first panel of that chapter as our first episode of the third season. The Extermination arc is about 6 chapters long. Now we're gonna get a movie compilation that's gonna have some of the battles that we see in Shibuya, and it's also going to include 2 episodes of the third season. And again, this arc, it's short, so we might get to see all of the Extermination arc and that premiere. After the Extermination arc, we get what it's called Perfect Preparation, which is about 15 chapters long, if I'm doing my math correctly. And it starts on chapter 144. Now, the actual Cooling Game starts on chapter 159. To me, Cooling Games end on chapter 216, which is going to give us a total of 79 chapters. Of course, a little bit high compared to season 2. Season 1 ended on chapter 63, I believed, and that one had 24 episodes. Season 2 had 23. So I do believe the number of chapters to end this particular season, it's a little bit too high. So I believe they're gonna end the season on chapter 212, which is gonna leave us what I believe 74, 75 chapters, which is of course closer to season 2. Now I'm gonna be talking about spoilers. If you don't want to get any of these, please skip to this minute on the screen. Now for all manga readers that are still here, chapter 212, called The Festering. If you read it online or if you read it from the Shonen Jump app, the names are wrong. In the app it says that the name is Ripening Part 2. If you have the physical copy, it says Festering. If you read the beginning of volume 24 on the app, chapter 212 is also called The Festering, so I don't know what happened there. But the point is that chapter 212 ends with the panel where Sukuna takes over Megumi's body. I would love for the anime to end there, or for the third season to end there, simply because it's just a great cliffhanger. It's, come on, everybody's gonna go crazy if the freaking anime ends there and then we have to wait 2 more years for the next season to come up. So personally, I do like that idea. A lot of people are saying that it's gonna end on chapter 216, which is the bath. Now, if it does end on chapter 216, or more specifically 219, because bath is 4-part long, I guess it's gonna give us like a more clear way to start the next season, because of course at the end of chapter 212 we still have a battle. I don't think they're gonna skip through that battle. I don't think they're gonna make it like as short as possible. In the manga it's 3 chapters, and then again if we go all the way to chapter 216 we already have 7 to 9 chapters that they need to adapt in a season that will most likely be 25 episodes long. So then again, I do prefer the season to end on chapter 212, just leaving us with that freaking cliffhanger for the people that are just watching the anime. Now, if we're gonna go all the way until the moment they released Gojo, which is something that a lot of people believed it's gonna be the case, because what happened with Demon Slayer, a lot of people think that the last season, or the Shinjuku Showdown, it's gonna be turned into movies. I don't want to believe that. I don't like the idea of having the last season turned into a movie, especially if it's just gonna be one. But it does give a clear vision to start from there, from the end, or like from chapter 221 into the movies, into the Shinjuku Showdown. Again, I don't want to believe that. I do want to believe that it's either gonna end the third season, it's going to end on chapter 212, or 216, 17, or maybe 18. That is a little bit too much for me. I do believe it's way too much. We're talking about, again, 79 episodes into a season that it's gonna be between 23, 25. I don't know if they can make it as long as 26 episodes. I think it's a little bit too long normally with this seasons that are divided into 2 parts. It's normally just 24 episodes, and that's why I firmly believed it's gonna end up on chapter 212. And again, it's a great way to end it, at least to me. It's just gonna have a suffering. Now, going over the trailer a little bit again, the first scene that we get to see belongs to chapter 138. This is where you're gonna start if you want to start reading the manga. I don't want to go like too much in detail into the scenes, because again, I don't want to do like a lot of spoilers. But most of the scenes that we see in the trailer belong to, yeah, Extermination arc. I think most of the dialogues that we see too belong to Extermination arc. Extermination arc, it's gonna be the shortest of the 3 that are gonna be in this season. It's only 6 chapters. The rest, it's gonna be Perfect Preparation and the actual cooling games. Of course, we don't get to see anything of the cooling games because it's gonna be all for part 2. Perfect Preparation is, again, 15 chapters long, which is the same that we get for Hidden Inventory. Hidden Inventory translated into 6 episodes of the anime. So I think the first part it's gonna be between 9 and 12 episodes maybe. If the Cooling Games arc ends on the chapter that I believe it's gonna end, chapter 212, we're gonna have a total of 54 chapters if my math is mathing, which is about the same chapters long that was the Shibuya incident. I think Shibuya was a total of 59. So that is my prediction for this season. Again, it's very interesting. It's just I really want to see how they're going to translate those chapters into the anime. What is going to get longer? If they're gonna like cut off on certain things, I don't think so. They don't normally do that. They haven't done that, so I genuinely don't expect them to start cutting parts now, especially because of how heavy the season is going to be in terms of like you really need to pay attention. I mean, you need to pay attention from the very beginning or you're gonna miss a lot. But I think this is where like it really you start feeling that you okay, I missed a bunch of things. I didn't pay enough attention to a lot of things. This is the season when you're gonna start noticing all that. So if you're a manga reader, I do recommend you to go back and read the manga, refresh your mind. If you're just anime watcher, go back and watch the anime. If you want to start reading the manga, which I highly recommend, go get a volume 16 and start on chapter 138. You can use the Shonen Jump app, not a sponsor by the way. I believe it's $2 a month. I personally recommend that you get the physical volumes because I've noticed a couple of mistakes in the Shonen Jump app when it comes to names of the chapters, certain words, and because there's a particular chapter that was drawn or made when Gege Akutami was in the hospital, so it was like a very quick drawing and it was not complete. They haven't corrected that on the app. I don't know if they're have plans to do it, but in the printed version of the manga we have the complete drawing for it. Now, visually speaking of the trailer, it's stunning. They're playing a lot with the colors, which is something that I genuinely like. This particular scene in the manga is obviously trying to give you a sensation of loneliness because that's exactly how Yuji is feeling in that moment. With all the colors that they're putting into this season, with the vision of the director, which is the same director that we got for season 2, which is honestly like the best decision they could have made, it gives you anxiety, man. Jesus Christ. The red color is obviously a color that it's gonna keep you alert. It's a color that stands out, that gets your attention immediately, and of course it gives you the sensation of unsettling. It's an unsettling sensation. They're mixing it with dark colors. We don't get to see that in the manga. Like in the manga, it's mostly light. It's just empty because it's giving you the sensation of loneliness, of emptiness. In this one, it's of course that sensation of loneliness and emptiness combined with the anxiety that the red color is generating and all the dark spots. Of course, it's an eerie kind of feeling, and they're using these colors a lot. They're using reds and purples and blues throughout the entire trailer. We in this particular scene we see it like kind of grayish type of colors. It's just devoid of color, which because of that what we're gonna see in this particular scene, I think it's fitting. It works. It freaking works. Again, we see a lot of purples, a lot of blues, a lot of reds. If you compare the coloring that they used in this scene with what we see in the anime in the season 2, it gives you a completely different feeling. In season 2, in this particular, it's the same scene, it's the same exact scene, but in that particular scene we get a little bit like, it's not so much blue, it's not so much red, it's a little bit more warmer colors, and we also get more light reflecting specifically on Yuji and on his hands. This scene on the trailer gives you a little bit more of darkness. It's again the purples, it's the blues, it's the reds. There is not, we don't get to see the sun. See, there's no sun in this scene. In the scene that we get in at the end of season 2, there's the sun and it's shining right behind Yuji. So that gives you a completely different feeling. It's a feeling a little bit more, again, warmer. It's a feeling a little bit more hopeful. This part, or this scene now, it's the complete opposite. So they're playing with the colors a lot, which is great. I love that. I think they're taking inspiration from what Dandadan is doing. And it gives you that sensation that is just unsettling, bro. It's unsettling, and it goes perfectly fine with the mentality that Yuji is gonna have for this season, which is probably his lowest. It's heavy. The entire season is pretty heavy. A lot of people are talking about how Yuta looks kind of scary. If you remember from the end of the season, of season 2, he has a task, and he is trying to do that. That's exactly what he's trying here. So I think it's just normal that he looks like that, that they're trying to give you that sensation of desperation, of anxiety, of just something is wrong, something is not working, something is just not okay, which is the entirety of the scenario after the Shibuya incident. Japan is destroyed. Curses are running rampant. There is no order. And people are going through literal hell. And that's what it's trying to make you feel. On this particular scene, I've seen people saying that they took inspiration from Kill Bill. And I can totally see it. I can tell it's a beautiful scene. It's just beautiful the way they're doing this. Again, playing with the colors. We can see it here. Blues, reds. They're playing a lot with that. So yes, visually stunning. Visually, it's just perfection. I am so excited, guys. I'm glad I was able to, you know, go through this thing and actually pay attention, or like more attention, and actually kind of like break it down a little bit. See, for Choso's battle, we're gonna have it black and white, which is beautiful. I like it. Then we have yellows here. This one too, if you watched season 2, you probably know where they are right now. But anyways, guys, that's all I have to say for this video. It was a very quick analysis. It's just a very quick way for me to yap about Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm very excited about this season. I'm obviously gonna go watch the movie compilation of Shibuya and the first 2-3 episodes of the 3rd season in the movie theater on December 5th, because I'm obsessed, because I have no control. I'm probably gonna go and cosplay either Yuji or Sukuna, one of the two, whichever is easier. And I do have very high hopes for this one. The direction for season 2 was amazing. We have the same director for this one, and you can immediately see the improvement. It's crazy. It's just ridiculous. The improvement is so freaking much. So prepare for me to yab. Again, I'm gonna be reacting to these episodes the way I react to anime in my channel. That's exactly what I'm gonna be doing for this particular season. I'm also doing an analysis, full analysis of Jujutsu Kaisen in general. I'm going episode by episode. I'm trying to make those fast because those analyses do take time. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on my social media as well. I talk about anime there too. And I stream on Twitch every day. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!